Hello, and welcome to episode number 142 of the TEW 2 Challenge Run. This is going to be Friday Night SmackDown for week 1 of July 2021, and we begin the road to the SmackDown branded Great American Bash pay-per-view. And we've got a whole long lineup of new champions here on SmackDown, so it's sure to be one hell of a ride. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show.
Think twice before you pounce. Thinking over, ready or not, it's the moment. Better off stepping aside, burning with vengeance and solid revive. Deville, you picked the wall. If you think you could get away, you have us to repay.
Hello there, it is me, MLG Mean Guy. So apparently Connell isn't breaking the Vega Mayfair up, and is just going to do in fighting? That is bullshit. Let's fuck him over real good here on SmackDown, Mr. Random Wheel, spinning Ireland. Carmella. Great start. I would like this to be Randy Orton, or someone of that caliber please. Shinsuke Nakamura. That is fine. Connell will be flabbergasted. He has typed what the fuck Mayo. Get wrecked. See you next month, bitch boy.
Show opens with a 100 rated segment. Sick. Carrion and Scarlett make their super fancy entrance. And then obviously Carrion cuts a promo, the lights are still sort of dimmed. And he's saying that, Joe, you may have got one over on me at Money in the Bank. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You made me pass out in that cookie in a clutch, but let it be known that I did not submit. And that if this was to ever happen again, me and you one-on-one, then the result will be different because that was a one-time thing. You got lucky at Money in the Bank, and if you face me at Great American Bash, for example, I'll put you to sleep this time, Joe. In fact, why would we even wait till Great American Bash? Why don't we get this done right now? Instead of Samoa Joe coming out comes Randy Orton. And he just sort of gets in the ring. He takes a microphone, he sort of just stares at Cross. Cross stares back at him, no words are exchanged. And then Randy Orton puts the microphone up to his lips. But before he can say anything, he just drops Carrion with an RKO. And he leaves. He does the Orton pose on the ramp. He's like, I'm back, motherfucker. This is for taking my title and for taking my spleen, or whatever it was. For taking me out of the game for a month. But Randy Orton is now back. He missed Money in the Bank. He's back to get a piece of Karrion Kross now. And that certainly spices up the WWE title picture. If these two are even still in it. Who knows? Opening match is an 82. Just a fun little tag team showcase. The Viking Raiders, the Street Profits against the Death from Above and the Dirty Dogs. The Vikings and the Profits get the win. The Viking Profits back from... Actually, that never happened in my game, actually, so yeah, they're not... The Viking Profits were never a thing. But Eric pins Malik with a death row. 70 for Montez Ford, 67 for Angelo Dawkins, 63 for Eric, 74 for Ivar, 74 for Roode, Ziggler and Lince. And then 82 leading the way from Gran Metalik. Very interesting. But the Vikings and the Profits get the win here tonight in this 8-man tag. Which then means we then, of course, cut back to the Usos backstage with Kayla, watching this on the television. And they say, nah, Us, see, at Money in the Bank, Dominic Mysterio proved what a head over heart fool he is. When he jumped off that cage, he had the chance to win. But we didn't let him, Us, because he jumped on us, and then we took the opportunity to win back our tag team titles. And now the Mysterios are out of our hair. Who knows, we could be looking at the next number one contender in that match, Kayla. It doesn't matter who it is, Us, because we proved that our blood is stronger than even the bond of a father and son, and that nothing can come between this family. And that, Us, is a fact of life. Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. So just sort of sending a message to whichever tag team thinks they're going to be next in line for the Usos. Watch out, because obviously they're twin brothers, they're a Samoan family. Nothing can come between them. 63, that's actually pretty good considering who I rated on this segment. Just as backstage segment, Santana Garrett. Last week she was hacking it up with Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink. This week she's with Sugar Rush. And then Bayley sort of just walks past and she's like, oh, Bayley. She's like, yes. She's like, I know you're not really who you used to be, and I'm fine with that, but you're a big inspiration of mine. I sort of molded my career on you when I was in the Indies. I sort of became like a mini version of the old Bayley. And then Bayley's like, okay, well, I hope that does you more success than it did me, because from one woman's wrestler to another here on SmackDown, hopefully that doesn't catch up to you, and you will have to change into what I am now. And it's working out pretty well for me after I changed. And then Santana's like, I would quite like to team with you tonight. Me and the girls were just chatting about how we needed a match. How do you want to be my tag team partner tonight? Sort of show me the ropes. And Bayley's like, fuck it. Yeah, sure. So it's going to be Santana, Garrett and Bayley against Sugar Rush later on tonight. But first of all, in a 52, the new SmackDown Women's Champion, Sonya Deville, just gets a quick squash win over Zayda Ramir in 3:19. 70 for Sonya, 21 for Zayda. And yeah, Sonya just gets a nice win to prove that she's the dominant SmackDown Women's Champion. And she grabs a microphone and she says she knows that she had a year to cash in that briefcase. But the fact of the life is, she didn't need the year. Look at her. She's got the championship already. And that the briefcase was just cementing that she was going to be the next SmackDown Women's Champion. And she can hold this title for the whole year instead of waiting months to cash it in. So what's the point of waiting if you know you're good enough to win? So when Dakota Kai comes down, she's like, you've missed something out there, Sonya, is that I didn't hear to thank you at all. And Sonya's like, what? She's like, you see, you only got the chance to cash in that briefcase and Money in the Bank and become the champion because of what I did. I took Dakota down, I weakened her in that match. I didn't quite win, but after the match I laid her out of my kick. And that's what left her vulnerable for you to cash in, so I'll take your thank you whenever you want to give it to me, or better yet, you could just give me the first shot of that title. And Sonya's like, no, right, here's the thing, Dakota, sure, you may have taken Bianca out and let me see the opportunity, but I didn't need Bianca weakened to win. I could have come out there when she was fresh and won the title. So if you don't watch your mouth, you're going to prove why that is a fact of life. And then Bianca comes out and she's like, girls, I'm in no mood to listen to you two babble on, because I want to get my title back. Bitch. She whips Sonya with her hair, and her and Sonya get into a fight. Bianca and Sonya, that is. Dakota sort of stands back, watching the fight unfold. And then Sonya gets her up for the KOD, but Sonya fights off her shoulder, sort of rushes to the outside, scavenges away with her belt. And Bianca's like, bitch, I nearly got you. And then Dakota sort of like tries to sneak up behind Bianca, like she's going to take her out. But before she can actually land a finger on Bianca, she turns around and she spots Dakota in the act, and she sort of stops, trying to pretend she was doing nothing, like plays with her hair, sort her wrist tape out, like, no, I wasn't going to do anything, Bianca, it's fine. And he's like, girl, you better watch your mouth too, because I'm not in the mood. I'm in the mood to beat some ass. So some tension between these three women here tonight. Big E is then arriving backstage when he's approached by Malcolm Bivens and the rest of his crew, minus Dakota, of course, because he just came out there a minute ago. And she's like, Big E. You know, you and I, we're a lot alike. Look at us. We're both dashing young gentlemen. We're both hella funny, hella entertaining. And we're both studs. If you notice, we may be a man down here in Bivens Enterprises, and there's a spot open for you, E, because, quite frankly, without New Day, you're not doing so good. You lost to Samoa Joe, and you haven't really done much on here on SmackDown since. And I can help you, like I helped AJ Styles, Chad Gable, Keaton Corbin, and Omos, and Dakota Kai. And I can be your new Day. I can be your new Xavier Woods, your new hype man, E. And then E just sort of stops and he's like, no one can be my new Woods. No one can replace my boys. And to insinuate that you think that you can, that proves that you don't really know me as well as you think you do. But I'm going to take on one of your guys later on tonight who wants to face me. And AJ and Gable sort of like back away, like, no, I don't want to face Big E. And then Corbin decides, like, I guess that'll be me then. I'm going to face you, Big E, and I'm going to kick your ass. So Big E and King Corbin later on tonight. In a 76, Cesaro defeats Dijakovic in 40 minutes and 10 seconds by pinfall with a neutralizer. 79 for Cesaro, 75 for Dijakovic. These are just two of the men, along with Sami Zayn from the SmackDown side, who all came up short in Money in the Bank. Just a nice match between the two to see who the better man was, and then a sign of respect after the match, which I did put in, is going to get a 72. Cesaro and Dijakovic sort of shake hands, bump fists or whatever, after just showing some respect after they went to war with each other here on SmackDown. The tag match gets a 65, and it's actually Bayley and Santana who do get the win. Bayley pins Candy Floss with the headlock driver. 43 for Santana Garrett, 67 for Bayley, 49 for Xia Brookside, and 50 for Candy Floss. So Santana, Garrett, and Bayley winning on their tag team debut over sort of an established team. They've been around for a year, but they're still sort of rookies, really. So it's fine. Shotzi and Ember just sort of chilling around backstage, doing what Shotzi and Ember would do, talking about how Shotzi, she put her body on the line and she's still feeling the effects of Money in the Bank, but she didn't quite get it done. But that's just a blip on the radar because she will be SmackDown Women's Champion one day. Ember will be again. But first and foremost, they want to focus on getting those women's tag team championships. And they're going to take care of business with Ember's Law and shit like that. 77, Big E and Corbin. Big E wins in 10:50 with a big ending. Just a nice little win for him. 83 for Big E, 76 for King Corbin. Gains heat on the storyline. And there's a little psychology, apparently, which I could have probably seen coming because it's two, like, performance center guys. No people like that really have very good psychology on this game. And after the match, AJ Styles sort of jumps Big E with a chair, twats him in the back of the leg a couple of times with a chair shot, and then locks in a calf crusher on his knee. Just works over Big E's knee, and he's like, you see, this is what happens, E, when you disrespect us as a group. AJ Styles poses with Omos. Maybe Omos will actually give him a big chokeslam or something too, just to get over that he's a big scary man. But AJ leaves Big E laying. We then get the celebration of Mustafa Ali with the three message men members in the ring. Ali comes out of his new US title. He's like, I told you all, Shinsuke Nakamura, you may have loved him, but he wasn't fit to be your United States champion because he's a foreigner. And I'm a true American hero. America's hero is named Mustafa Ali, and that really annoys you, doesn't it? But this message is officially in progress, and with this championship, I sacrificed my morals and re-signed for this piece of shit brand just so I could get this title and deliver this message to you, and that is that Mustafa Ali is the face of America. He's a true American hero, and nobody can take this championship off him. Not Nakamura, not anybody. Especially when I've got my guys Dabakato and Kushida, got the giant Polish Nigerian beast, and the technical Japanese expert, along with Mia Yim, if any women want to try and step up and can face the Blasian baddie, the savage brute. Then of all people, the Mysterios come out. And Ray's like, Ali, first of all, congratulations. From a former Cruiserweight champion to a former Cruiserweight Classic competitor, Cruiserweight division member. It's great to see guys like us succeeding. But as somebody who's always prided himself on being a man of the people, I don't really think that you're going about this the right way. And then Ali just laughs like, oh, don't you? Do you really not, Ray? Well, I'm holding the gold, so I'm pretty sure I'm doing the right thing. And I'm spreading the message that Mustafa Ali is the American dream, the American hero. Probably wouldn't say American dream, actually, because, yeah, you know. And he's like, you know what? I'm feeling generous. Adam Pearce, he did not want me here, and he wants me to leave. It eats at him that I am the United States champion, not just because I'm Mustafa Ali and I'm more American than apple pie, but because of what I've done to his show. He doesn't want me winning. So here's my pitch, Pierce, if you're listening. I'll defend this title right now, and then if I lose, I'll leave again. And I'm going to face Mysterio right now. And then Ray's like, okay, great, let's go. He's like, no. Not you. He points to Dominic. He's like, him. That guy. The guy who was a champion and cost you your championship yesterday. He cost you everything, Ray. And you're sticking by his side? Very foolish of you. Well, he's going to come up short again tonight in a title match. Ring the bell. And there's going to be Dominic and Mustafa Ali. It's technically the main event match of the night. And it gets a 78. Ali, of course, wins with the 054 in 12 minutes to make defense number 1 of the US title. 84 for Ali, 56 for Dominic. Yeah. We then get Talking Smack, not Raw Talk, yeah. Hyped up. We're going to hear from former United States Champion Shinsuke Nakamura, former WWE Champion Karrion Kross and Scarlett, and the Street Profits. But before that, we see Nakamura sort of just chilling backstage, and he's sort of like pondering his thoughts when, of all people, in walk in Carmella, Danny Jordan, and Reginald. And she's like, hey Shinsuke, you seem down. And Shinsuke sort of looks up, like, what the fuck are you doing here? And she's like, I don't want to say Mustafa Ali has a point, but you were the United States Champion. And now you're sitting back here while other people are walking out there and getting championship matches, Shinsuke. Maybe you aren't valued around here. Maybe he's right. Maybe Adam Pearce doesn't want you to be the United States Champion because you're Shinsuke Nakamura. You're not fit to be the United States Champion. I don't know what it is. Maybe something about him and about you. Maybe he just doesn't like you representing his brand. Maybe he wants you to leave SmackDown. But that's just me. Maybe that's just a hunch I'm having. Maybe it's not. But something seems to be happening because Dominic Mysterio is getting a title shot. That's all. Champagne. Reggie offers him a glass of champagne. Shinsuke's like, no. And just orders them to leave. But they've clearly gone to his head about something. About maybe she's right. Because he didn't get a title shot tonight. Maybe Pearce doesn't value him as a member of SmackDown. Main event segment, Samoa Joe. Finally the WWE Champion after all these years of trying. I've busted my ass for over 20 years to finally say that I could hold this. Years and years of being told I didn't have the look. Years of being told I wasn't what WWE was looking for. Years of, he's just an indie guy. He'll never make it to WWE. And when I made it to WWE, oh, he's an NXT. He's not going to ever get called up from NXT. He's just here to be an NXT trainer. Blah, blah, blah. Well, look at me now. I proved myself right and all of you wrong. Because Samoa Joe, by God, he's the WWE Champion. And it's true, I've got to thank people. I have to thank everybody on Raw that tried to shun me away on commentary because they thought I was too injury prone and they thought I was finished and retired as a wrestler. No. I had to thank Big E for reminding me who I am and reminding me that I've still got as long left in the tank as I say I've got left in the tank. And I had to thank Karrion Kross for basically holding my championship and being an easy victim for me to put to sleep and finally make my opportunity a reality. Then Cesaro comes out. And he's like, Joe, I'll be the first to congratulate you. I'm in a similar boat. Me and you, we're two sides of the same coin, really. And I've been grinding for as long as you, so it means the world to me to see somebody that's been trying as long as you have to finally get that championship. It actually gives me a belief that I can get it done in my career as well, Joe. And maybe that will be at Great American Bash, because Kross and Orton are sort of tied up together, so there appears to be an opportunity going for the championship. Then AJ Styles comes out, he's like, no, Joe, Nobody out here, nobody in this company knows you more than I do. Me and you, we grew up together. We're buddies, Joe. So, from my love to yours, congratulations. It's nice to see you finally catch up with my ability, because I won that championship years ago, but who's counting? But Stuff finally got it done. That's what really matters. So, for old time's sake, Joe, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship on pay-per-view. Who'd have ever thought that? Who'd have ever seen that coming, eh? And then Sami Zayn comes out. He's also preaching why he wants to be the WWE Champion. And then Adam Pearce, who I forgot to put on screen. Next week, triple threat main event. Cesaro versus Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles. With the winner going on to the Great American Bash to face Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship. Cross and Scarlett on Talking Smack. I'll actually probably have Scarlett do most of the talking here about Randy. How Randy's just jealous that Karrion Kross became the double champion and took that moment away from him. And now he's back for revenge. Well, Karrion's always up for a fight. Fall and prey, stuff like that. I definitely click next segment. Street Profits. Chatting about their win earlier on with the 8-man tag with the Viking Raiders. And how them and the Vikings have been around also sort of like joined because they were both tag teams in NXT. And how they're now here on SmackDown and they want to become the SmackDown Tag Team Champions again. And if that means going through the Vikings, then so be it. And it does, because Kayla then breaks the news that next week it will be a tag team match, the Viking Raiders against the Street Profits. Winner will face the Usos at the Great American Bash. So another number one contenders match scheduled for next week. Shinsuke is on. He's not really got a lot to say. And he's like, Shinsuke, any thoughts? And he's like, I was the United States champion. I love being in America. I love being able to come here and be myself, and nobody looks down upon me for that. I'm welcomed here as one of my own, but maybe Pierce doesn't feel the same. Maybe Pierce still thinks I'm an outlier in WWE because of my style. Maybe this whole King of Strong style doesn't fit in like as well as I thought it was. Maybe there is still people back here who are looking at me differently. Then Reggie walks in and he's like, sorry to interrupt, Mr. Nakamura. I can't help but hear you pouring your heart out here on Talking Smack. I just wanted to come and offer you some champagne. And then he puts his hand on his shoulder. He's like, it's okay, buddy. Don't let it get to you. It's all going to be okay. And he leaves. And Shinsuke sort of just stares off into the distance to end the show. 86. We're gaining popularity at an alarming rate now. But we're already Titanic. So there's not really much else to gain. Well, what's more on the 86, of course, what you thought of the show. Do let me know what you thought in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for episode number 143, Raw. See you then.